Oh, the Chicken McNuggets. Put that shit right into S tier. It's one of the most iconic fast foods ever. Nobody exactly knows what they're made of, but these bad boys are like edible crack cocaine. And they've been a McDonald's top seller ever since their release in 1983. Everybody loves nuggets, and McDonald's almost didn't release them. That's right, you watching were this close to never experiencing the orgasmic taste of a 20-piece. McDonald's had a huge problem that seemed impossible to solve. If it wasn't for a single degenerate Wall Street trader, McNuggets would have never happened. The year is 1980. Synthwave was the hottest shit in the clubs. Fashion was terrible. Bill Cosby started spiking drinks, and the US government thought our people are fat as fuck. So they released the first ever dietary guidelines for Americans, encouraging them to eat less red meat and more chicken instead. Now this was kind of a problem for McDonald's, who had built their entire business empire on hamburgers. They didn't serve any white meat at all. I mean, they've been experimenting with chicken products for a while. The best they could come up with was a deep fried chicken pie, and this shit was ass. But the guidelines seemed to be effective. The executives were shitting their pants. If they didn't come up with their own product fast, they would get dethroned by KFC as the #1 fast food chain. They needed a miracle. That's when McDonald's first chef, René Arendt, stepped in and presented them his genius idea.
Broken ice cream machine.
Just kidding. He presented them the prototype nugget. By March 1980, McDonald's tested the McNuggets in a single store in Knoxville, Tennessee, and the customer feedback was incredible. The executives were rubbing their hands, knowing they had found the next big thing in the fast food game. But now they had another problem. Chicken prices were highly volatile, and out of nowhere, suddenly every single one of 6,000 franchise owners in the US wanted McNuggets like yesterday. So where the fuck do you get millions of affordable chickens from? Back in New York, there was a kid named Ray. He didn't have good grades in high school, but he was obsessed with stocks. After grinding his way through college and landing his first job on Wall Street, he ended up as a commodities trader at Shears and Hayden Stone, where he advised farmers on how to hedge their business risks using futures contracts. He was actually pretty good at his job, but he was also a fucking degenerate. At a convention of the California Food and Grain Growers Association, Ray paid a stripper to perform in front of a crowd of conservative business people, and things only escalated when he went out on a bender with his co-workers on New Year's Eve. After having a little too much to drink, he straight up punched his boss in the face, which resulted in him getting fired. Play the Sigma music. The TikTok hustler mentality kicked in. He wanted to be his own boss, so instead of looking for a new job, he founded his own consulting business out of his 2-bedroom apartment.
With a quote from my late father.
How do I hide my identity in child sex videos?
The farmers Ray advised at Shearson kept working with him, but if he wanted to succeed, he had to attract more clients. So he started marketing his services with a daily newsletter called Bridgewater Daily Observations. Every single day, he would write his analysis of what economic trends he was seeing, what his models were predicting, and why markets were moving. This newsletter was an underground banger, kinda like 2016 SoundCloud era Uzi, and it made him well known in the industry. At first, it landed him a few smaller clients, but everything changed when the newsletter drew the attention of 2 major companies. One of America's largest chicken producers, and the other one was McDonald's. This was insane. If Ray could somehow strike a deal between those two and the McNugget was a success, he would become a Wall Street legend on the spot. The farmer had the nuggets, McDonald's the demand. But the main issue was still the fluctuating price of chickens. The fast food chain needed to set fixed menu prices for the McNuggets. If they launched the product at $2.99 and then chicken prices suddenly doubled, they would face 2 equally terrible options. They could keep menu prices fixed, potentially losing billions, or go the Xbox Game Pass route and frequently raise prices, pissing off their customers. But the same logic applied to the chicken farmer. He didn't want to sell chickens to McDonald's at a fixed price because if his production costs suddenly skyrocketed, he would also lose money. Ray's hedging strategies didn't work because unlike corn or wheat, There was no chicken futures market on Wall Street. Without a way to lock in future chicken prices, launching the McNuggets was too big of a risk. It was doomed. The deal was off the table. Ray got depressed and turned into a Greek philosopher. A chicken? What even is a chicken? Is it a being? Or is it merely the ghost of an egg? It's born as a little chick, and you add a bit of grain and it turns into a chicken. Ha, the irony of life. Oh my god, a chicken is a fucking production machine. This was the breakthrough. The baby chick itself costs just a few cents. The real cost comes from the corn and soy meal needed to feed the chick as it grows. These feed costs were the thing that made chicken prices unpredictable. Ray just cracked the matrix. He calculated the exact cost of feed needed to raise a chicken to market weight and showed the chicken producer how he could buy futures contracts for corn and soy meal months in advance, locking in the price he would pay for feed, essentially creating a synthetic chicken future. The farmer was convinced, and he could now offer McDonald's a fixed stable price for chicken, saving the launch of McNuggets. The product was a giant success. Bridgewater turned into one of the most profitable hedge funds ever, and Ray, whose real name is Ray motherfucker Dalio, became a certified Wall Street legend.